Hello and welcome to another Video Dust tutorial, and in this one we're going to talk about the effect called Cropper. So what is Cropper? Well, it takes your input and divides it into columns and rows, and it gives you added feedback and trail options. Okay, so if we bring up the band and bring in the effect, and we have a vertical crop, which you can control with the pattern slider here, which chooses through the various crop options. And then we have a sequencer, so if I turn that on, and with the drop-down menu you can choose between the vertical crops, horizontal crops, squares, and boxes. And below that there's a random sequence generator, so if we turn that on, and that is currently stepping through the horizontal crops. If we switch that to squares, and all shapes, and then we can control that sequencer speed with the random speed slider. So if I go to all shapes here, that's currently stepping through all the crops. And then we have you zoom up and down, you zoom left and right. So to show this, let me pick verticals, and I'll turn the random off. Bring this back to verticals, slow this down. So the zoom up and down and the zoom left and right is adding feedback either vertically or horizontally. So if I say zoom to the right, add a touch to the right, and I bring the feedback in, so the two feedback sliders, the feedback slider here adds feedback which is essentially confined to the current crop. So if I bring that in, and the other feedback out adds additional feedback outside of the crop. So as I bring that up and move the zoom left and right, you can see it's adding additional feedback. And if I choose horizontals, turn the zoom left and right off, and add either up or down feedback, you can see how that sort of works. I bring the feedback down. So next we have the live background tab, which I turn on, and bring the mix slider between the crop and the live input sort of midway, and you can see how these RGBs are working. This is coloring your live input, and these RGB sliders here are coloring your crop color over the top, and the front color mixer is an overall color tint over the top. So you have your additive mixes here. So if I bring the slider all the way up and give it additive, and then over here you have a separate brightness and contrast controls. Okay, so I've set up a couple presets here, and we have preset 3 chosen, which gives it a bit of a sepia effect with, as you can see, feedback minimal but high feedback out. And we have a bit of feedback on the zoom up and down. And the contrast, brightness on 1, contrast on 3. Next one we have is preset 4, which is randomizing the horizontal and verticals. And a little bit of feedback on the up and down. And the next one is preset 5, which is your zoom up and down is maxed, and your feedback is maxed. And that's using the sequence on the verticals. So that's Cropper. Thank you for watching.